Texas Tech heads up to Cincinnati to play a Bearcats team that really hasn't lived up to expectations in the preseason. They were a top 25 team, were the Bearcats, to enter the year. They lost their first 4 Big 12 conference games before beating Colorado and Arizona State the past 2. But don't get it twisted. Wes Miller's team is very, very good and will present a lot of problems for Texas Tech. Now, Texas Tech is looking like they are getting back on track, specifically on the defensive end after their best defensive performance against Arizona. We talked about that in the sense of 54 points. That'll play from a defensive perspective. And you held the Arizona Wildcats to 3 of 16 shooting from 3, 16% overall. Not a good shooting team with the Wildcats, but hey, you were the reason why they didn't shoot well in that game if you're Texas Tech. Now, Texas Tech is in the midst of a stretch that they have to get to at least 4 wins in now. They have to get at least 4 because February is so difficult. But you look at what the Bearcats have done. Again, 2-4 in Big 12 play, 2-5 overall so far. Their losses in the Big 12 are at Kansas State, not ideal. Then versus Arizona, okay, you lose at home against Arizona. Texas Tech beat Arizona at home, at Baylor, and then versus Kansas. Now, the Kansas game is interesting because the Bearcats only scored 40 points. Kansas won that basketball game scoring 54 points. 54. Wild type stuff. Again, as I mentioned, they have won their past 2 conference games against Colorado and Arizona State. Colorado, probably closer to a bottom feeder in the Big 12, if we're being honest. And Arizona State is one of those teams where I don't think anybody's going to enjoy playing them, but they may not be the most talented team in the Big 12, but they're pesky, if that makes sense. So that's a solid win right there. Now, overall, the Bearcats are led by Lucas, 12.4 points per game. They also have another scorer that's at 12.4 points per game, but he doesn't qualify in terms of the metrics, in terms of being a leader since he hadn't played enough games. Either way, Simus is their best shooter by far. Really the only guy shooting over 35% from 3 that has qualified minutes for the Bearcats. Now, there will be a familiar face for Texas Tech fans in this game due to Dylan Mitchell transferring from UT up to Cincinnati. He's the Bearcats' leading rebounder at 6.8 rebounds per game and is also a really good defender, 1 through 4. It would not surprise me at all if you see Mitchell on JT Toppin or you see him on D5. He is their best defender. He is going to guard whoever is the hottest player for Texas Tech at any given time, which is, potentially, Chance could be, the freshman. CA, Christian Anderson, could be D5, JT Toppin. He's versatile, and he's a guy to watch. Offensively, he's not going to do anything too crazy for you, but he's a guy that definitely have to look around for his athleticism, and he's not afraid to go up and get physical in terms of an O board to keep a possession alive for the Bearcats as well. I believe his last name is Bandigo. I believe that's how you say it. Aziz Bandigo. He's the big. He is their pick and roll guy. He's 7 foot. He honestly kind of reminds me of a little bit bigger Fetty. Just maybe not as athletic. He's still athletic for a 7-footer, but maybe just not as athletic as Fetty when it comes down to it in terms of agility, being able to go out on the perimeter and actually guard a little bit. He feels like he can be okay in a switch situation, but you feel better if Fetty is on the perimeter with his quick feet and how he can guard compared to, again, AB. I'm just going to call him AB. I'm going to butcher his last name. I apologize on that front. He won't shoot from the outside, but he has size to make a difference down low, and that's something to be interested in because maybe that's where you do see more of Fetty in this game because of a guy like AB down low. Now, when it comes to the Bearcats overall in this game, and again, this is a potentially big game for Texas Tech because you move to 5-2. If you win this game in the Big 12, you get another Big 12 road victory. Those are always looked highly upon. This would easily be another quad 1 win for the Red Raiders, right? But you go 5-2 in your first 7 games, right? One of those games you lost by 1 to a team that was the number 2 team in the country before they lost at West Virginia in the Iowa State Cyclones. Again, we're playing the what-if game there, but that's not a bad loss. In fact, it helped you move up in a lot of metrics, which we will look at here in a minute. But you look at that, you're 5-2, and then you have a chance to potentially go 7-2 if you win this Cincinnati game, because you have 2 games at home against 2 of the teams in the lower half of the Big 12, let's say, in TCU and Oklahoma State. But overall, the Bearcats shoot 45.2% from the field, which is about middle of the pack in the Big 12, 10th overall. 32.8% from 3. That is 13th in the Big 12, i.e., 4th worst in the conference. They rebound at a pretty similar margin to Texas Tech. Texas Tech is actually 6th in the Big 12 at 38 rebounds per game, while the Bearcats are at 37.6. So really a wash if we're just being honest about it. And then the assist aspect of things, Texas Tech is in the top 3 in assists per game in the Big 12. While Cincinnati doesn't move the ball around too much, it's some ISO ball. They also run a lot in terms of screens. They try and get their shooter, Simus, involved a lot, but they are 11th in the Big 12 in terms of assists per game at 14.5. Now, the interesting part about Cincinnati, they don't turn the ball over. They are the second best team in the Big 12 when it comes to not turning the ball over, which is critical for them because I think Texas Tech is far more talented, but also Texas Tech does a really solid job. Are they the best team in the Big 12 at creating turnovers? No, but they're one of the better teams at creating turnovers. And if you can create some turnovers where maybe Cincinnati doesn't normally turn the ball over in certain situations, I think that just exponentially increases your chances of winning this basketball game if you're the Red Raiders. You come in, you're hot right now. You got a couple of road wins in the Big 12. You just beat an Arizona team that previously was unbeaten before they came out to the 806 and got drubbed by 16 points. How about Christian Anderson, by the way? That 360 lefty layup to basically ice it with a minute left. He's all Big 12, baby. I'm telling you, he's going to be an all Big 12 type guard. I don't know if he's going to be in Lubbock past 2 years because an NBA franchise is going to fall in love with him, and probably multiple NBA franchises. That dude is a bona fide star as a true freshman. And JT Toppin too. We'll talk about him a lot more here on the channel, so another reason to subscribe. But I think Texas Tech wins this game on the defensive side of the basketball floor. And I think it really starts with, I think they truly found something with that Fetty and JT lineup. You throw D5 out there, you throw Chance. And the best part about this is the multitude of guards that you have allow you to really pick and choose who you want to be around JT and Fetty. If you need a little bit more physicality and size, okay, you go out there, you have Christian Anderson at the lead guard, and then you could throw D5 and Kevin Overton out there, or maybe D5 Chance and CA, or maybe it's D5 KO and Elijah Hawkins, or maybe it's D5 Chance and Elijah Hawkins, right? It allows you a multitude of different possibilities in terms of lineup construction, and the aspect of them playing long minutes together. I don't think that that's really realistic because they are your 2 prominent bigs. I don't know how great you feel about Ameli in terms of him playing a lot of minutes, but you put them out there for a 4 or 5 minute stretch, really make life difficult on the defensive end while also not deteriorating your offense in terms of really still having a lot of shooting out there. That's something I think that's going to be appealing to Grant McCasland and crew when it comes to just throwing it out there for stretches. And the best part is if you need to rest JT, okay, you keep Fetty out there. You need to rest Fetty, you keep JT out there. You can always have one of them out there, or you can go super small. And I think it's an interesting lineup if you want to go D5, Kevin Overton, Kerwin, CA, Elijah. You know, you can have Chance out there as well. You have multiple opportunities. I think that lineup just allows you to keep guys fresh, but also really allows you to throw different looks at the defense that they're probably not going to expect on the offensive side, and definitely not going to expect on the defensive side because of how much length and athleticism the Red Raiders will have in the front court. Again, spread is not out yet at the time of this recording. It's about, 12 in the afternoon on Monday. So about, what is that? Quick math didn't go to Texas Tech for math. 30 hours away from tip-off. I would suspect this is pretty close to a coin flip, maybe Texas Tech favored by a point. But overall, I think Texas Tech wins this game. I think they're more talented than Cincinnati, but don't get it twisted. This is going to be an absolute dogfight up in Ohio, and hopefully Texas Tech can come back to the 806 5-2 with the chance to potentially move to 6-2 and then 7-2 ahead of a very, very tumultuous early February for the Texas Tech Red Raider men's basketball program on their schedule. But again, let me know down in the comments below your score prediction for Texas Tech and Cincinnati. Big one for the Red Raiders. 5-2 makes you feel a lot better than 4-3 in conference play and probably sets you up for a lot more success, as I mentioned. And if you haven't already, be sure to like the video and hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell for more Texas Tech game breakdowns. We're going to be doing it all the time here, people. So why not join the largest group of Texas Tech fans right here on the Back to 12 podcast channel?